you guys been waiting for the last panel. I know y'all been waiting. Let me know y'all been waiting for this last panel. Give us some praise. Yeah. All right, so we got our boy Corey on the panel. I'm going to announce him first. This is my brother, man. So really, I met him my freshman year of college, his sophomore year, and it was really at a good time in my life. So I'm appreciative of Corey and all that he's done. But without further ado, let me announce all the other panelists for the entrepreneurial panel. All right. Pleasure, man. Pleasure. This is my boy right here. All right. So first, Mercedes. You know what? I'll go last for you. But this our brother, Justin Vincent. He is a young financial expert and the designer and owner of Over East. As a young entrepreneur, Justin, he specializes in empowering others through financial literacy and the Word of God. He applies his expertise as the owner and designer for Over East, where he continues to make an impact in both business and personal development. So without further ado, I want to announce not only my brother, but one of my family, man. Over East, man. How you doing? Hey! This is a warm welcome. I want to keep this energy going. I want to keep the energy going, y'all. All right, so next, we got one of our brothers. He's not only a mentor for us, but he's been somebody that I look up to, of course. Married man, successful, started young when it came to entrepreneurship and chasing his goals. So, of course, I got a good place for you in my heart, man. So, Ty Lewis, he's the CEO of Ty Lewis Speaks and a transformative leader dedicated to empowering others and shaping future-focused communities with a strong foundation in speaking, real estate investing, coaching, and mentoring. Ty is making a lasting impact across multiple spheres. As a consultant with Next Generation Consulting, Ty offers strategic foresight to business communities and leaders. And Ty has inspired audiences at John Deere, Rock Island High School, the Quad City, Chamber of Commerce, Blackhawks Community College, St. Ambrose University. The list goes on, y'all. So without further ado, I want to introduce our brother, Ty Lewis. Alright, so I did say last and not least, right? I already said it. Last and not least, got the opportunity to meet her through one of our mentors, Miss Sarita Love. So if y'all haven't gotten to connect with her, it's at Sarita Love Success Junkie. That's her brand. I need y'all to find a way to get in touch. I know one of our vendors got some wisdom from her. So without further ado, I'm grateful to have met Mercedes Joyner. She serves as the Chief Branding Officer and CEO of JMC Strategies Consulting. She specializes in messaging, communications, and rhetoric, as well as public policy, with a Master of Arts in Communication from Western Illinois University. That's a good feat right there, y'all. That's big. That's big. She has led with strategic branding, marketing, and public relation initiatives across government, non-for-profit, and corporate sectors. She's passionate about empowering professionals in business. Mercedes helps organize to amplify people's voices and enhance their visibility and drive impactful change. This is something that's important, y'all. So without further ado, we strategically picked out our girl, Mercedes Joyner. Alright, we on, y'all.
Yes. So, yes, to start off this panel, we want to be very intentional with this. We have a lot of young people doing amazing things in the community. And we're all within entrepreneurs and leaders. So one thing many people might ask is, tell us about yourself and what got you into an entrepreneur mindset at such a young age, and how you see that for other young people to apply it to their life. Yeah.
Hope everybody doing good tonight. Nice to be here. I'm blessed to be here. Appreciate my boy Corey and Ian. What I would say got me into entrepreneurship at a very young age was, first off, I dropped out of college my first semester, you know what I'm saying? So I was a freshman dropping out. And coming home just sparked the motivation in me to be like, all right, cool, I need to, do something. But I always knew that I wanted to be financially free. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. So I started 2 businesses when I came home, drop shipping, which totally failed, and my clothing brand, as y'all can see, Over East. That's what I stick with the most, and that was like mostly my passion. But then continuing going into business, I noticed how much capital was important to grow, to market everything, to sell everything, making sure you got high quality products. You want to make sure that you invest into your business just as much as you invest in time. You want to invest that money into it as well. So that's what got me into the, credit biz and getting access to capital to invest. And now I help other entrepreneurs do that as well. So rather than real estate, starting a clothing brand, whatever they want to do, you're going to need capital to do that, especially if you want to grow. So that's what, got me into it.
Yeah, shout out my guys, Ian and Gordon, man. They're doing some phenomenal work. Like, love to see it. So, again, my name's Ty Lewis. Blessed to be here. God is good. My journey started, I feel like, when I really got into school and I got a banking job. So I was in college, got an internship in banking. And one of the things I realized growing up, my parents always were working, but for some reason could never have any extra income to take vacations, to do extra stuff, to invest in me. So it really clicked when I was in this banking role and I was in the credit department. And I'm looking at all these loans and all these business owners and people that are wealthy. And I'm just sitting there, and this was during COVID, so we had the PPP loans, we had money going out. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, man, these people are sitting first class on planes, they have extra properties. And I'm just like, what am I missing? What did my parents miss telling me? So then unfortunately, my dad passed away, and he was a truck driver. My mom was in accounting. But when my dad passed away, I got introduced to this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which if you haven't read it, please read it. Foundational read for me. But one of the big things I learned about in that reading was you can't just work for money. You gotta let the money work for you. And that was one thing my parents never did, right? So as I started to get in this banking role, I'm like, okay, I need to get in a position where after I make some money and learn some skills, I need to let this money work for me. What is that gonna be? I got into real estate, right? So I got some properties, and we can get into all that, but that's kind of what started my journey in entrepreneurship. And now I'm speaking, doing foresight training, doing consulting, but kind of really started with that book and just really opening my eyes to man, how do you get wealthy and what am I missing? And I realized we're not letting the money work for us.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's wonderful to see all of you guys here. This is beautiful. If you guys can just give yourself a round of applause. To get into the question about how I got into entrepreneurship, my father has been doing entrepreneurship since before I was born. And the first words that I asked him was how he was making something. He does clothing and a bunch of other things, but clothing was the first thing. So I always knew that I was going to have a business because he always had a business, but his thing was you were going to school. And my thing is I wasn't going to school. I'm going to get a business, I'm going to figure it out. So that's how I started my dad. He pushed me and my sisters. I have 3 other sisters. And it was, you make your choice. What do you want to do? And how do you want to do it? We've given you the tools that you need. So I was in grad school. I was ready to drop out. I was done with it. I was like, this isn't for me. This school stuff. I'm tired. Student loans, all of that. And then I started a vlog. My business actually started with a vlog. And I was one of those people, we talked about this earlier. I had a business before I knew I had a business. It started with social media, helping other graduate students understand that this is how you get through graduate school. Because in college, there's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of politics, and there's a lot of red tape that they don't tell you, and they don't give you that information coming in, and you have to find out going through. So that's how my business started. And then I had this idea that I wanted to be in politics. I was like, I want to be in Congress. And then I really got in politics. And I was like, we're going to take a step back. We're going to be in that, not the forefront. And then I started realizing the business that I had before I knew I had a business was social media. I started capitalizing, having clients, and building that, and educating myself and educating my clients. Because what people don't realize, I think everybody in this room realizes it, is social media is one of the biggest tools that you have, and it's about how you use it, how you present yourself on social media, your social media etiquette, all of that. And that's where it took off. That took off to landing me into being in politics and helping people create their branding and that messaging that led into the community. And I cannot leave out my purpose. Bringing my purpose into my business is what helped me flourish, and that's the reason why it's here today. So that's where it all started. It started at home with the ultimatum, and we're here now.
I love what you all are doing, and now that everyone knows what you all do, what would you say is 3 things that people can do to get started in what your industry is?
I'm going first again. The first thing I would say, basically what she said, finding your purpose. That will help you definitely figure out what you want to do, especially when it comes to the business aspect. Finding your purpose is going to set that path for you, and God is going to direct your steps throughout that whole path. So I'll say find your purpose. I know I'm in the credit game and I get businesses funded, but I would definitely say, getting your credit right so you could have access to capital to invest and invest into your dreams, invest into that business and that purpose. And then finally network, you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm here today, meeting Corey and Ian, and a lot of other people. And I'm definitely going to network here again. It's a lot of people, amazing people in this room. So make sure y'all networking and, talking to people, especially tonight. Make sure y'all talking to everybody. And then just always, God is going to always bring y'all opportunities, especially for people. So again, just network.
3 things. I want to really give you guys some strategies and techniques that really have helped me. And I was just talking to my boy David back there about this too. So first one, prepare yourself to take the risk. So what do I mean by that? So I'm in real estate, I have property, but in order for me to invest in the property, I had to look ahead and realize, okay, what do I need to do in order to get this property, get the cash, get the credit, get my income statement, get my taxes. I need to think ahead. And one of the things I always ask, how many of you guys have taken a history class, like in school? Has anybody taken a foresight or futuristic class? Nobody. So some of the work that I'll also do is foresight. And what I mean by foresight is thinking ahead and looking at signals of the future and signals of your life. So for me, let's take a step back. As I'm in high school, I had to make a decision. Do I go to the 4-year college? Do I go to the 2-year college? Do I go to the trades? What do I do? I decided to go the 2-year route. Okay, the 2-year route isn't as popular as going to Northwestern, University of Iowa, University of Illinois. But guess what the 2-year college brought? Had a full-ride scholarship. Guess what that full-ride scholarship did? Gave me income and scholarships from that college, so I actually got paid to go to that 2-year college. So as I'm getting paid to go to this 2-year college, I'm working at Chick-fil-A, then I got to the bank, and then as I went to my 4-year college, I also got a scholarship to that, but I was strategic about that. And my parents really helped me, hey, you need to think about what the long-term effects of your decisions are. Because we're always looking back, but you need to be looking forward about, okay, what's going to help you build wealth, right? So when my dad passed away, I went to this 4-year college. While I was at the 4-year college, I had to decide, okay, am I going to spend money on stuff that I don't need? Or am I going to spend money and go to conferences, read books, get in front of people that are in real estate? And that's how we met Corey, going to events. And that all led to put me in a situation 6 months after I graduated college to get my first duplex that I'm now cash flowing $2,000. But people are looking at that, and you'll look at if you look on my Instagram, you'll see, oh my gosh, he's got these properties, he's killing it. You're not going to see the steps that I had to take before that. So I want to let you guys know, hey, what are you preparing yourself for today for your future self at the end of 2025? Because I had to make sure my credit was right, cash was there, but I wanted, first step, prepare for the risk. Second step is the risk. It was tough, y'all. My family didn't have property, right? I'm in this bank, I'm around people that have property, but I don't know the language about property. So what do I have to do? Okay, I need to get my head in this book. I need to read. And one of the things my dad always told me before he passed away, a closed mouth never gets fed. So if you don't open your mouth and ask for help, ask for mentors, ask for properties, ask for property managers, ask for loan officers that can help you, you're not going to get anywhere. So I had to take the risk to ask and get in rooms like this where I'm meeting people that are in real estate or are in business. And that led to me eventually getting properties, and there's a whole story behind that. But second step is taking the risk. And the third thing, delegation. I'm not a property guy. I do not know how to fix a toilet. I do not know how to fix a roof. That's not my game. But guess what? I know people that can do that. because I networked, and going back to the first step, I planned ahead. Hey, I need to make sure I'm networking with this plumber. I need to make sure I'm networking with property managers. So now when the situation comes up, like a raccoon was in my property, and I'm freaking out, oh, let me call my realtor that helped me with the property that also is an investor, and ask him, hey, like, what do we do about raccoons in the property? Pest control. Let me give you a guy that I know and let you get introduced to him. He gives me a discount. Next thing you know, the issue's gone. With delegation, right? I'm not a social media guy at all. I'm not probably need to talk to you after this too. I need to delegate some stuff in order for me to fully lean into, okay, you're an investor, you're a speaker, you're a leadership coach. Do the things you're naturally gifted at and delegate the other stuff. Like, if you're not a credit guy, talk to the credit guy. But people, we try to take so much on as people, and it's like, no, like, live into your God-gifted talents, delegate the rest of the stuff, because there are people that are naturally gifted at the stuff that you're not good at that will kindly help you. So take the risk, right? Prepare for the risk, and then delegate.
I want to say 3 words: story, audit, and purpose. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to forget it as I'm going on. So if I go off track, remember: story, audit, purpose. I need somebody to help me with story, audit, purpose. The first thing is understand your story. And the reason why I say understand your story is because a lot of the time we have these experiences and we have these things that go on that we're ashamed of. And we're like, I don't want to tell nobody about that. And I don't want to talk to people about that. I don't want people to know that. But that's a part of your story. That's a part of your experience. You know, we want to post on social media the cute things and the nice things. And I got this award and I did this. But did nobody see me when you was crying last night ready to quit? So that's the first thing, is the story. Document your story, remember your story, feel those moments of your story, because those are going to be the moments that are going to push you forward. And then when you get to where you're going, that next part is that audit part. You have to audit yourself. I do, just like with my clients, I do a quarterly audit. Where are we at? Where do we want to be? How are we going to get there? What are the things that didn't work? What are the things that did work? Do a personal audit on yourself. And what a personal audit looks like is, what are the skills that you have right now? What do you have in your inventory? What do you have in your toolbox? You know, the tools that you have right now, the skill set that you have. But also, what is it that you have that you know needs to be brushed up? Or what is it that you don't have that somebody else may have? Where can you learn that from? So the second thing is audit. Purpose. The last thing is purpose. Your purpose is going to take you further than any degree, certificate, course, whatever it is that everybody says that you need. If you have your purpose, you don't need it. You don't need all the stuff, all the glitter, you know, all the razzle dazzle, because you're the razzle dazzle. So, like I said, story, audit, purpose. With those 3 things, because a lot of the times you can have the education, you can have the experience, but if you don't have the confidence of who you are and where you've been and know what you know, you're gonna be in those rooms and you're gonna be the very person that you need to be in there talking to everybody, and you're gonna be trying to hide out in the bathroom. When you need to be out networking, when you need to be telling people your story. So, story, audit, purpose.
I love that. You learned a lot from these panelists. And I have another question. As 2025 continues and there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, the world, what is your mindset as an entrepreneur to navigate through tough times and building yourself up to stay towards success?
I'm a strong believer of God, child of God. So that's what Over East is mainly about. I try to spread fashion and the word of God, together. So that's how I try to reach people, and that's like my purpose. So my main, but my favorite Bible verse is, I walk by faith, not by sight. You know what I'm saying? We go through a lot and we see a lot, but God knows everything. He knows the past, the present, and the future. You know what I'm saying? We only know the past and we only in the present. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen when we leave this event. You know what I'm saying? But God does, and He correlates everything and, bring the people in your life, bring you in these environments for things that's going to happen 10 years from now. We don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm going through tough times and when I'm going through, with business, when things don't go right, damn, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. We all go through it. And He was like, I had this planned out. Now we got to just change the whole thing around. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time it was God purpose. Like, I remember so many times going through business things and business opportunities, and they failed. And I was like, damn, why did they fail? I had this like perfectly planned out. But then that opened a whole nother door that I needed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know I needed that door to be open. You know, so just walking by faith and not by sight throughout the whole thing, through the bad and the good, that's what gets me through, you know, everything as an entrepreneur.
One of the things that I realized in the last panel, they talked about it perfectly. And I hope you guys are listening. Self-development. I don't know, is I still? I know still. Yep. Self-development. So, what does that mean? Because I want to give you guys some practical stuff. When my dad passed away, my wife now pushed me to go see a counselor. I'm like, I don't want to go see a counselor. Like, never grew up. My mom wasn't in. My dad didn't see a counselor. I was just like, I don't need to go to therapy. No, I needed to go to therapy. And what did that allow me to do? It allowed me to process some trauma that I had inside, a lot of grief, right? And what did that allow me to do when I got into rooms and started networking and doing stuff? It allowed me to be my full self because I got that trauma and grief out of there, and now I can show up as my full self. So, like, therapy. Like, get help. We all have stuff we have to work through, and we cannot just talk to our family. We cannot just talk to our friends. We need to hire professionals. It goes back to my other point, delegate. Like, I delegate. I have a counselor, I have a business coach, I have my accountant, right? I have a leadership coach. And they're like, man, Ty, you're spending $500 a month on all this. Yeah, I am, right? And that's going to see dividends as 2025 happens, as 2026 happens, as stuff happens, like family stuff happens, kid, whatever it might be, you're going to have challenges. You need to have that support system. And one of those support systems for me, therapy, business coach, like got my accountant, got a leadership mastermind, right? So practical stuff for you guys. Go find, like if it's not a therapy, like business coach, life coach, but find someone that can keep you accountable as things happen, because as things happen, even my real estate journey, property didn't end up the way I wanted it to. Business coach, leadership coach, hey, let's keep back to the same thing. Let's keep going and networking. Let's talk to your realtor. Gave me the confidence when I didn't have the confidence, because we all have those weak moments where it's just like, why am I here? Leadership coach, business coach, therapist all help within that. And I think that's important for you guys to realize as you go out, is getting that accountability circle so that you can be your full self. And they talk about self-development. So that's one thing I would do as 2025 challenges happen.
So, can y'all hear? I need the mic. I don't talk loud.
We'll figure it out.
Say thinking in advance, right? All right, try it.
Mic check.
Okay. Oh, that was loud. Okay. So it's funny because the question that you asked, me and my homegirls were talking the other day, and one of my friends, actually a lot of friends in my group, are now starting to have their own businesses. And one of my friends has a nickname for me that I didn't know she had, and she finally told me it the other day. I didn't know how to feel about it until she explained it. And she was like, you know, I call you Mercedes Quit a Job Joiner. I was like, what? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. She was like, you know, every couple years you would just quit. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know y'all was paying attention to that. But I shared that is because the way that she explained it, she was like, if a space wasn't working for you, you made a move and you didn't stay. And oftentimes we stay in these environments because we think that we have to, or we think that, you know, this is what's going to work right now. Let me get comfortable. The best thing you can do is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, and she explained it to me. She was like, you know, I get why you would quit now. She was, because she has her business and her business is doing really, really well. And, you know, she's even down some of my clients because I don't like event planning and she doesn't like event planning. And I'm like, take these people's marketing, branding, me, event planning. No. And she's like, I get it. And she was like, you pivot. She's like, I just thought that you just quit because you didn't want to be there. She was like, but I understood that if an environment isn't fitting you, you cannot grow in it. And she was like, I understood now that you were removing yourself so you can grow. It's like the soil that you're in for a plant. Sometimes you got to change the soil out. And I was like, I didn't realize that y'all were thinking it like that, but yeah, that's exactly what it is I know how to pivot. I adapt quickly. I'm a Gemini. I adapt quick. Woo, woo. Like, if it's not working, we need to switch it up. What is going to work? So for 2025, my thing is adapting. And one of the things that I've had to make the decision to do now, because for the last year I've been an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur and have a 9 to 5. Always. Multiple streams of income. And last year I decided, I was like, you know what? We're going to take 1 full year and just be an entrepreneur. Y'all, it was hard. It was so hard. It was wonderful though. But then what I made the decision to go back into corporate. So now I'm an entrepreneur and I'll be working with a school district, which is great. But in that year, I learned that as an entrepreneur, as a business, as a person, not only do you have to adapt and pivot, but when you're doing those personal audits of yourself, you have to do that of your environment and the people around you. What's pouring into you? Because sometimes we're pouring so much into other people that we're not pouring into ourselves. And with that self-development, I'm in social media and I'm in marketing, and I have to educate my clients, but I also have to educate myself. What am I putting into me? As an entrepreneur, what am I doing with my time? What is my schedule? Am I scheduling to rest? Because we don't schedule to rest. We don't schedule to go to therapy. Like, I have a client who is a mental health specialist, and I was telling him, you gotta rest, you gotta rest, you gotta do this. And then I have him do all these things that he's uncomfortable with. And he's a therapist, and he's my client. He used to be my therapist. And now he's like, did you rest? And I was like, you hit a spot. I don't like that. So it's resting, taking that time to rest. And when I say rest, I mean really rest. Cut the phone off, turn your brain off, don't talk to nobody. Because, entrepreneurs sometimes, or parents, or people, the only time we sometimes get is the bathroom time or in the shower. You're just like, my brain is going and going and going. But you have to rest, because if you're not resting, you're not refueling. You're not being able to tap into that self-development, And even with faith, faith is one thing. That faith, I call it a faith walk. The faith walk is one of the hardest walks that you're going to take as an entrepreneur, because it's going to challenge you in ways that you never even knew. I've had some days where I'm like, I work for myself and I'm ready to quit. I'm done. I don't want to do it. All of y'all figure it out. But then it's like, okay, let me come back to my purpose. Let me come back to my story. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for people other than me. People who came before me, who made the way for me, but people who are coming after me. And that's the same thing with everybody in this room. You're not just doing it for you. And this is the thing. The seeds that you plant today may not even be for you. They may be for generations 3, 4 times down the line. So that resting and, just be okay with pivoting, because sometimes people are going to look at you and see you pivot and they're going to think you crazy. But then when they're crossing the street and a car almost hits them and you snatch them up to go with you, it switches it. So be adaptable.
I love the opportunity of being able to share that information, because the ability to adapt and continue to move forward towards the future is how we improve. So I look a lot within our community. We talk about how we've had Black Metropolis and we had big communities as far as economic empowerment. How do you feel how we can continue to work and elevate and continue to recirculate our money back in our communities for economic development, and how can we collaborate for growth in the community?
That's a good question, and that's something that I have been, trying to work out. I ain't gonna say on my own, but with my team. Shout out Out of Churches, you know what I'm saying? So we were the ones who reached the youth, and we call it the churches, you know what I'm saying? Y'all call me YN, I'm young, but we call it the churches, the hood, you feel me? But he doing a good job of showing what's going on, him being here today. When I was growing up, I didn't even think about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think this exists. And then last year, I went to investments in Atlanta. And I'm like, let me move to Atlanta. Let me you feel me? It was so powerful seeing that black community come together and so much black success, and I'm thinking it's only in Atlanta, you know. But then I really started networking in my own city, you know, meeting people like you guys, you know, and coming to events like this, and I seen how much it really is here. It really is here in our city, and the youth need to see it more. You know, the older generation needs to see it more. My generation needs to see it more. So again, shout out to Out of Trenches, but also, you know, what Zion said, you know, going in front of the youth, going in front of people and showing them this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my team is trying to do more. We're trying to, you know, give back, but with the knowledge as well. You know what I'm saying? So we can prepare them for the financial literacy. And what I was looking at, I was on 63rd the other day, and I was looking, they building it up. You know what I'm saying? Around there a little bit, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, like I love to see that. And I was talking to one of my business partners, and we get into real estate, and man, I want, like, I don't know, I used to hear, like, when they build up, the white people gonna move in, they gonna move the black community out. Nah, how about we educate our community on how they can afford these nice houses, you know what I'm saying? And now we building up the community, and everybody living in a nice house. Now these communities are nice houses, and the people living in there is still the black community, and they can financially afford it. So that's my goal, you know what I'm saying? And I want to start with the youth, you know, because that's where it starts at. But wherever I can do that, that's where I want to have my biggest impact at, for sure.
After today, I want you to audit something. I want you to audit something. I want you guys to check your goals for 2025 that you made. And this is what I'm telling y'all, man. A friend, he checked me the other day, and it really made me rethink, man, like, I'm not doing it the right way. I'm not doing it God's way. He was like, are your goals serving you, or are they serving others? And I checked it. I'm like, okay, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, want to do this. Want to do, like, and I'm just like, I don't have anything here about helping another business, helping my friend get to his income, helping this person achieve their goals. Like, it was all self-centered. And I'm just like, he checked me. So this is the importance of, like, community and people that are going to check you, because those are probably the people you don't want to be around. But I'm like, man, he checked me. It was like, yo, are your goals for you, or are you going to bless others with the stuff that you get? Like, if you get $1 million, like, you can have $1 million. Well, how are you going to bless others? So I want you guys to check your, like, audit yourself. Like, as you're thinking about building wealth, giving back, all that stuff, like, is it for you or is it for others? Because I realize as I'm getting more in my faith, and we talk about God here, but he's like, one of the things I'm realizing is like it's not about you. She said it. Some of you, like, I want you guys to, because some of you guys are missing it. It's not about you. I just got married a month ago, and I realized, like, we're at the wedding, we're celebrating, and right afterwards, I'm just realizing, like, yo, my mom's not married, my wife's family's about to get divorced. I got friends that are about to get married, and I'm thinking it's for me. I'm thinking this day is for me. It's not about me. I just gave my mom some hope. She's 40, like, I'm giving her hope. My wife's family, I'm giving them hope. Okay, maybe we can figure this out. My friends asking me about rings, like, man, like, what did you do? And I thought the day was about me. It's not about you. Like, how is your business, your wealth, everything you're doing going to support others? Because once you self-develop and help people around you, that's when the collaboration happens. Like, Corey's not, like, he invited me not for him, like, he's helping me. So when I get my podcast up and going, like, guess who's going to be a guest? Corey, he ain't going to be on there, right? So it's just like, how are you helping others?
I'm really big on the village. So my word is elders. My grandfather passed away about 6 months ago now, and I have 8 grandparents. Out of all of, sometimes grandparents, the age of grandparents, young grandparents, out of all of them, I now have 3. And I always tell people that you have to talk to your elders, but you also have to act as an elder. Everybody in this room is over 18, I want to say. No, except for the 60-year-old. This goes for you too. I'm not calling you out.
He's 17.
17? Who's a 17-year-old? Who's a 17? You 17? Okay. Give it up for y'all. For being in the room. I want to make eye contact with y'all. I need you to come up here just a little bit more. I need to be able to see you. This is the thing. Talk to your elders. And I'm going to tell you why. When my friends were out making mistakes and doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, I was talking to my elders and I was listening. The more you listen to the older people around you, they will tell you everything you need to know. I have a mentor right now. She's a millionaire. People don't even know the knowledge and the gems that this lady just gave me, like for the last 3-4 years. But she tells me so much that when I'm in situations, it just pops up. Surround yourself with people that are older than you. Now, I'm not talking about like, oh, you're 16, you're 17. I'm not talking about 21. I'm talking 55, 66, 78. Get some friends that are like 30, 40 years older than you, because they tell you so much. But this is the thing. They can talk all day. You have to listen. Actively listen. Ask those questions that you don't even know to ask, because what's going to happen is when they're telling you more stuff, then you're going to think about the questions to ask. And the questions that you wouldn't have even known to ask now are popping up. And you're like, okay, what do you mean with this? Or I don't understand that. Or you start having conversations, and then they start telling you stuff because they have more experience and they're wiser than you. And they're like, hey, hold on. You going in the wrong direction, let me tell you this. Or, hey, I think you need to know this. So many of the people that I know have, hey, I'm going to stop you right there. I have a mentor. She'll be like, before she tells me something that gives me constructive criticism, she'll ask me, do you mind if I tell you this? And I've told her, like, tell me what you think I need to know. Like, you don't have to ask. But she asks me, are you okay if I tell you this? Or, hey, you're thinking about it like this. Have you thought about it like that? Get some people around you that are willing to talk to you. But on the flip end to that, all of us in this room have to act as elders, because now we have some type of knowledge where we know more. We know better. We've had enough experiences to be like, no, that's not how you're going to do that. Let me show you a better way to do it. Or let's find a better way to do it. So my word is elders. Acting as an elder, but talking to your elders, because I look at the things that my grandparents were able to tell me and that I listened to. And now I went to FaceTime my grandpa the other day, and I had a moment because I was like, dang, I can't FaceTime him. He's not here. I was like, ooh, dang. I was like, okay. So what I did, I processed it, because we got to have that self-development and that self-awareness. I felt what I felt. But then I called my other grandpa. And I was like, hey, grandpa, we got to talking, and then he just told me a bunch of stuff. But you have to talk to the people that came before you, but you have to talk to the people that are coming after you. And just because you're 16 and 17, you have experiences. You guys are in this room. You guys are in this room for a reason. You have a whole business that you're doing. And then I don't know what you have going on, but you in this room, so I know you got something going on. I know you do. You guys have people that are coming after you that you can talk to. Lean into your story and lean into your experiences and talk to your elders. That's the blueprint. It's already laid out. It's already laid out. You don't have to make the mistakes that your parents and your grandparents made. We skipping all that. Part of generational wealth is what you're investing in yourself. But part of generational wealth is not making those mistakes that stopped your grandparents and your parents from being able to continue and have their wealth. So I'm still talking about
Yes, this is very important for us to continue. A lot of people, what type of car, what type of house, what type of things, but we're not looking at the people we have in the room right in front of us. You have the future business partners, you have the big relationships, you have everything you need within yourself, and we continue to navigate it and build it to something bigger, something that's greater, that can create long-lasting impact. We look at our community, we look at where we are now, but we don't look on how big we can become. We set ourselves so small, but as soon as we start believing in ourselves, we can continue to share that energy to others and build. And that's what we want to continue to build and do with these events and build together. And before we conclude this presentation, I want you all to just let people know how they can reach you and how we can work together.
For sure. Again, my name is Justin Vincent. You can follow me at Justin the CEO. You can look forward to my clothing brand. But the only thing I do want to say, I want to tell y'all 3 things before I pass this mic on. It's the value of wisdom, right? And we can all receive wisdom 3 ways. This personally what I learned and what God has told me recently, and I always want to share it whenever I get an opportunity to, because it's so valuable. But the first way to wisdom is in that word. You know what I'm saying? Whatever word y'all reading, it's in that word. If we read that word, we can prevent a lot of things from happening. And we can also be prepared for those situations that are going to happen because it's life. You know what I'm saying? The other way, what she said, listen to the elders, and not even elders, to anyone. Don't pay attention and focus on the messenger. Focus on the message. No matter who talking, I don't care if it's a crackhead on the street. You could learn how not to be a crackhead from a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So listen. But if you don't listen and you don't read the word, you're going to unfortunately might have to go through a situation. Not saying it's going to be bad. It might be good, but you're going to have to learn from that situation. So those three things, you know what I'm saying, you can prevent that situation from happening if you stay in your word or you listening to people who God bless you in your life. But, just shout out Over East, my clothing brand. Again, my name is Justin Vincent. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Justo the CEO.
So, Ty Lewis, you can follow me at Ty Louie on IG. I'm also on LinkedIn, and my website is tylouie.com. So you can find me on those platforms. The thing I want to close with, and I want to emphasize this really, and I already talked about it a little bit, but what I want you guys to do is, you guys got some information tonight, right? You got something that, man, I got some inspiration, I got some strategies, I met somebody else. Like, what I want you to do is go tell someone that wasn't here about tonight. So what that's going to do is, one, it's going to allow you to remember, oh man, yeah, I remember Corey talking about this, Zion, I remember Sullivan talked about this, or the entrepreneurship panel talked about this. So it's going to allow you to remember stuff. And then when you tell somebody else, they might have some more questions for you. So now you guys just started some accountability, right? And accountability allows you to continue to execute when things slip up, right? You start to pivot, right? So what I want you guys to do, tell somebody about this event. Talk to them about Corey. Talk to them about what you learned today. And ask them, like, man, let me just express what I learned today and just how you can hold me accountable. Because I don't want you guys walking off and like, man, this is a good event. Well, I'm going back to my same habits I've been doing. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'm still going to be broke. I'm still, I don't want that. Go tell one of your closest people, or go tell somebody that's going to keep you in check. Like for me, I'm going to go tell probably my best friend, like, yo, I talked about like what you told me to check my goals, like, and I'm going to do an audit, right? That's what I'm going to do. And I want you guys to do something similar to that. So you guys can stay accountable, but not only that, now you're helping somebody else. Because they might need to hear, oh, they talked about this story and like, I need to get in my word, or I need to talk to my elders. That might help them transform, right? So do something for somebody else after you leave tonight.
So everything is Mercedes Joyner. I'm not even gonna give y'all my business page because nobody follows it. Just Mercedes, everything is Mercedes Joyner. I would say a quote that my dad we always talk about, and I've quoted, I stole it from him, but it's okay. He always says, with anything you do, make a difference, but do no harm. So with anything that you do, make a difference, but don't harm anybody. And in that, what I would say is, everybody in this room had an opportunity to wake up this morning because you're here. What are you going to do with it? There, unfortunately, are people who did not wake up this morning. You woke up this morning, whatever obstacles or whatever happened, you are here. No matter how you got here, whatever happened earlier, you leave that at the door. You are here, you are in this moment, and you have so many opportunities and blessings, not only for yourself, but for other people. Everybody in here has an idea or something that you're sitting on. You have something within you right now where you've been hesitant, and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know. Do it. Do it. It's not a how I should do it. It's a when. Prepare to do it. You just gotta jump. You gotta jump. Put a life jacket on before you jump. But you have to jump, because if you sit in your comfort zone, you're never gonna get out of it. And then you're gonna look 30, 40 years from now and be like, I wish I would have. I should have. Don't wish you should have done something that you could have done now. With the world that we have, with the technology, with everything, you can take that risk and bounce back from it, because the risks now, they're not as bad as you think. We just get in our head and we start thinking, oh, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail. Who cares if you fail? Fail faster so you can succeed quicker. So
thank you all again. Make sure to just follow, support all of our panelists, and just before we conclude this panel, I want to be able to say one last poem before we conclude and connect. And I want this to touch everyone before we leave. So, before we leave, I want everyone to listen to this poem. From the Black Belt soil to Chicago's golden streets, our ancestors built kingdoms against all odds. Garvey spoke of ownership, Malcolm of self-reliance, their revolutionary vision guides our rise. Where Black Wall Streets thrive before turning to flames, we stand on the shoulders of those who dared construct. Today's entrepreneurs illuminate new dawns, the economic sovereignty our elders envisioned. Our legacies transcends individual success, building businesses while uplifting communities. Your dollars are soldiers, deploy them with purpose. Each investment shapes our collective destiny. We are legacy builders, wealth creators bold, manifesting generational prosperity at last.
Black people, we are millionaires of America. We are the influencers. We are the inspirers. We are the visionaries. Who ever thought 400 years ago that we would be here to represent pure black excellence?
Welcome to another night of elegance. Put your glass in the air for black excellence. Never mind the media, that's irrelevant. They know we born gods, it's all evident.